Well, I mean, look, if you take it on face value, first of all, Manchester United have still got these three players in their squad. They don't want those three players in their squad. We should add Tyrell Malacia to that one as well, because there were five originally. Of course, Marcus Rashford has gone to Barcelona. Yeah, we take it on face value, and we believe everything Ruben Amorim is saying. If they remain at Manchester United, yes, they'll be reintegrated. They'll fight for their place in the team, which is perfect for me. The other way to look at it is they're just trying to protect their negotiating position. But you wonder whether that ship has sailed now because of what's happened in the past month or so, because it's been made clear that Manchester United don't want these players. And if you're a club who want to buy these players, as much as Manchester United will say, well, if you don't meet our asking price, they're not going anywhere, clubs will say, well, we do know you want to sell them, so let's just wait until that price comes down. But it's clear why Manchester United will want to do this, because they want to maintain a good bargaining position that they found themselves in with this. But if you go back to, I think it would have been when Erik ten Hag was in charge, and he had effectively exonerated Jadon Sancho from the squad completely. He was not part of the squad, and he didn't get that move at the end of that transfer window. Come the summer, there were those pictures on Manchester United's website of Jadon Sancho and Erik ten Hag together on the training ground. People say, oh, is this a reunion? Have they kissed and made up? Is there a future for Jadon Sancho? People were like, no, there isn't. That was just literally just to say, Jadon Sancho's still part of this squad. And if anyone wants to buy him, well, look, we're happy to keep him, but you're going to have to pay good money. So I think that might be what we're seeing with these players as well. Maybe there hasn't been the falling out that Erik ten Hag had with Jadon Sancho, but it is clear that Ruben Amorim wants to start making the squad Ruben Amorim's squad, and these players don't fit.
And I think alongside that and alongside his comments saying he'll welcome back the players, they are Manchester United players after all, and he wants them to integrate into the side. Well, if that actually comes to fruition at the end of the transfer window and no clubs reach their asking price for those players and they are integrated back, how tough is that going to be to integrate those players back? Because bear in mind, they're not part of pre-season for Manchester United. They're not on the tour. They're not with the new players, the new signings. They're not part of Amorim's new ideas for this season. So that's going to take a long time to do it. So I guess my question to Ruben Amorim, if that is the case, you are happy to welcome these players back, why are you not welcoming these players onto the pre-season tour now to make sure that you're integrating them just in case they do end up staying?
Well, what about... Go on, Dharmesh.
One thing I'd say as well, there's a slight comparison to be drawn here with Arsenal. When Mikel Arteta took over, Arsenal were in a bit of a mess. And at one point during his reign, he basically, and the hierarchy said, we need to move on now. Now, Arsenal took a hit with some of their finances when they allowed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. They mutually terminated his contract. There are a few other players where they just said, you're not part of these plans anymore. I think there's been 10 or 11 years since Sir Alex Ferguson left where Manchester United have tried everything with various managers, but without a structure in place. Now they have this structure in place. Now they have put their faith in Ruben Amorim. Maybe part of them is thinking, yes, we need the public face to be, well, we'll reintegrate them. But privately, they're probably thinking, at some point, we have to move on and start the new Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. And if these players don't fit, will they take a hit? They probably will. They're not going to get anywhere close to £73 million for Jadon Sancho. They're definitely not going to get anywhere close to the 80-odd million they spent on Antony. So they're going to make a loss. But for the good of the long-term future of Manchester United, that's probably where they're at now.
OK, so where they're at now, says Dharmesh, how close are they to getting rid of any of these players?
Not very. Right now is the true fact and true statement with it. Let's talk about Antony, though. Antony, there are more offers, more interest, it feels like, for him than there are for the likes of Jadon Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho, Tyrell Malacia at this stage. Now, Antony, we understand there are two Saudi Arabian Premier League clubs who are showing interest. Now, Real Betis, we know, are keen for him to come back. He had a very successful loan spell at the back end of last season, showed everybody actually what sort of player he can be. despite the huge £86 million price tag, which I think clearly weighs on his shoulders. It's not necessarily the player's fault. That's just how deals work. But for Real Betis, a permanent transfer and a permanent transfer fee is not doable for them. They want the player on loan. Manchester United want to sell the player. So options with the likes of Saudi Premier League club are a good thing for Manchester United. Atletico Madrid, also another club monitoring the situation. Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich also keeping their eyes on that player. Now, Anthony obviously knows Bayer Leverkusen, new boss, Erik ten Hag from his time at Ajax. So, at Manchester United, of course, he says himself they're not necessarily looking at him right now. But then that also goes back to what Ruben Amorim was saying about clubs looking towards the end of the window. So
basically, these clubs are playing a massive game of chicken, aren't they? They're just to go down to the.
But why wouldn't they?
Yeah,
when you have got a club who, as Dartmouth says, they clearly want to sell these players. Well, let's wait right to the last minute when you're at your most desperate stage, and then we'll get a better price for them.